Hello YouTube friends, thanks so much for coming by and welcome to another episode of the Untamed Olive. Today we're doing some meal prepping with falafel. This recipe is chock full of good for you, fresh ingredients, super simple to make. I promise you will never look at store-bought falafel the same way again. Keep on watching to see how to make them. Okay guys, rule number one for making your own falafel, you have to use dried chickpeas. I promise if you skip this step, your falafel will not turn out nearly as well as you'd like it to. So I've just got 1 cup of dried chickpeas that I've mixed with 3 cups of water and 1 teaspoon of baking soda, and I'm letting it sit overnight. You want your chickpeas to double in size. So these guys have been sitting for about 10 hours. And that's what the dried chickpeas look like. So I think we are looking pretty good. We're just gonna drain these out and buzz them up in either a food processor or a blender. I just have my Vitamix here, so that's what I'm using. This like large granular texture is exactly what we're looking for. We're just gonna plop that in a bowl, not even rinse out our blender, and add in the rest of our ingredients. We've got onion, garlic, parsley, and cilantro. I will in the description box below list exactly how much I used of each. We're just dumping those in and we're gonna pulse them up until they're nice and blended. And this is where a food processor might be a little easier, but it works in my blender. I just stop it every once in a while and mush down the sides and we're good to go. Once we're blended like so, I'm just gonna dump back in those chickpeas and we're going to blend them up and get our seasonings going. I am adding some cumin, coriander, salt, pepper, and a little pinch of roasted red pepper flakes. And we're just gonna buzz that around a little bit more and get it all mixed together. And once we're nice and mixed up, I'm just gonna throw this whole blender into the refrigerator, let our flavors meld together for a little bit, about an hour, and then we'll be ready to form our falafel. Now, before we start forming our falafel, I've got one more ingredient that makes a huge difference. This is baking powder. I'm adding a teaspoon to the whole batch. It really helps lighten things up so you have a really airy falafel instead of, you know how you can sometimes go to the supermarket and get one, or even at a restaurant, they're really dense and dry. The baking powder makes a huge difference here. So we're just mixing it in. And now I'm just going to use my hands and try to get evenly sized little falafels here. Just squeezing them together. This dough is quite wet, so I'm just kind of pressing it together to get the basic shape going here. I wish that I had a smell cam because you guys, the smell of fresh herbs in my kitchen right now is just amazing. Parsley and cilantro, it just smells so good. They're so good for you, really great detoxifying herbs. Chickpeas also have a good amount of protein, super filling. This is a really great recipe, especially for meal prepping. So, you can bake these, but if you're gonna take the time to make fresh falafel, I will say they taste so much better fried. I'm just pan frying them in about 1/4 of an inch of vegetable oil here. Just get nice and crispy and light and airy and delicious. Super worth it. So I'm just plopping them down in the oil here. I'm gonna cook them for about 4 minutes on one side, flip them, and 4 minutes on the opposite side. Another great thing about falafel is you can freeze this dough, so you can just make them fresh every time you want them, or you can make a bunch in advance and have them for the week, whatever you prefer. Look how pretty those are. They're so green and beautiful. Once they're done, we're just gonna pick them up and plop them on a little bit of paper towel to drain that. Well, we're really gonna plop them to drain out that extra oil. Let them cool a little bit, and then we're going to assemble them. So there are like seriously a million different ways to eat falafel, and it's good in all those ways. It's great on pita with some grape leaves, hummus, and baba ganoush. You can really do all sorts of things, but my personal favorite way, especially when I'm trying to eat more healthy, is on a bed of romaine lettuce. It's so delicious. It has an amazing crunch to it. So all I'm doing is slathering on some homemade tahini dressing. I will link below how to make it. Super simple. There's literally like 4 ingredients. Then I'm going to plop on my little falafels here, and I've got some roasted beets, some fresh cut red onion, and tomato. You can use whatever you'd like. This is what I just had in my fridge. Cucumber is also really good. This is a fun little way to build a little lunch here. Make yourself a little falafel burrito. So before I start stuffing my face with this little romaine boat here, I'd love to give a little shout out to Steve's sister, Mary Ann. She asked me if I had a falafel recipe, and I did, and it was a perfect opportunity for me to hone in the ingredients and get the recipe right on point. So thank you so much for the suggestion. If you guys have any other ideas or things that you'd love for me to make, I would absolutely love to do it. It's really fun to play with new things and to do things that you guys want to see. So thank you for watching. I hope that you're having a wonderful week, and I will talk to you soon. Cheers.